Yeah, here's a fun question because Weinberg writes, in the pool of OC candidates, even in the regular end of season movement, where would Holgorsen fall on our list? If I was putting together my list, if like, let's say, Jack, that they were playing out the string, they never had brought him in, they never had brought Phil Snow in.
Oh, yeah. This is a good question.
He was going to be my number one.
What? This is your dream candidate?
Of course. Who else would you have above Holgorsen?
I don't have a hot board of coordinators like all you weirdos do. I have no idea.
Yeah, and I
can't name any
the
coordinators.
Weirdos have taken over the discourse, baby. Maybe you should be listening to us a little more, Jack.
I don't have
the walls of Jack Mitchell are crumbling before him. Everything he thought was impossible has now begun to happen.
I'm trying to think how many offensive is Norm Chow available? Is he still around?
Nice.
I'm trying to think of some. Oh,
is he still alive? Yeah.
If he is, now, I would give him a call.
Now, Corny writes number one ? Exclamation. So here's why he would have been my number one, because they'd already kicked the tires on him. It's this. I don't have a hot board. My opinion, the list was going to be him. What's his name? Quarterback coach Glenn Thomas, and then there's another guy that people have mentioned multiple times. Is it Nixon? I don't remember. Is it Nixon? I can't do a Nixon. I'm not going to try. But there's another. There's a. I am not a bad play caller. There's not another guy. There's another guy, and maybe his name is Nixon. I can't remember who it is. Nick Saban, I think. Yeah, Nixon at Syracuse.
Wait.
Is that who is, Mark?
All these people who are dying for a new coordinator, or like you leading them up, couldn't even think of anyone.
I just gave you three names. I just gave you
sort
three
of
names.
You did.
They got the guy I wanted them to hire.
One of them is the current quarterbacks coach. I mean,
well, no, I was going off of like realistic hot boards, not like the ultimate hot. Like Joe Brady would be number one.
Well,
they're not going to.
High Formation said he wanted Signetti, which
that very realistic.
He's going to be looking for maybe to move up.
Very realistic. So like that's why this is sweet. They've already done the thing that I wanted them to do. Moving into next year. D'Lo, handling it like he does any piece of information. Worst case, halftime versus Wisconsin, and Dana is missing. He stumbles onto the field during the third quarter, hammered like Hopper and Hoosiers.
Like Hopper. It was the first thing I thought of before you even said it.
Great reference, D'Lo. Excellent reference.
He comes out saying picket fence.
Oh, excellent reference. Yeah. So there you go.
High Formation said it. Yeah, there we go.
Bayman wants to know, Jack. John today kept talking about how it feels like a desperate move from Rhule. What does Jack have to say to that?
Yeah, but is that a negative?
That doesn't have to be a negative.
I wanted him to be desperate.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, he needed to do something. Yes, this was careening with negative momentum down the hill at this point. And the UCLA game took it to a level where that was really problematic. The negative momentum in the season was getting shorter at that point. Something needed to change, whether it was personnel, whether it was, strategy, whatever it is. Again, I did not think it would be the actual offensive coordinator. So be it. Here it is. Something changed. Yes. Is he desperate? Yes, Josh. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in the words that he said.
I'm happy you said that. I thought the same thing. I watched the presser live on yesterday. I watched the presser live Monday. And then I re-listened to it when we played some clips. And I was like, holy shit, man. He does not sound in a good place right now.
And he should be. We've talked about the implications of ending this. We talked about it last week. A whole lot, you and I did. About the implications, what the offseason and next year looks like if this team ends the entire season on a, 6-game losing streak, 7-game losing streak.
It'd be 6-game losing streak.
6-game losing streak doesn't make a bowl.
10 in a row when they have a chance to go from 5 wins to 6.
We talked about that. You should be doing everything. I mean, listen, you have got, because that puts him in a huge hole if he wants to continue to be the coach here.
Dare I say a hole that he would be unable to crawl out of?
I wouldn't say unable, but I would say he would be in a huge hole already.
Well, we're going to have Dirk Chatelain on hopefully early next month after the regular season and hopefully ahead of a bowl game, and we can talk about a lot of stuff with him. But one of the things that Dirk has talked about before, Jack, is like he has the research on coaches that miss bowl games in their first 2 years. Outside of like Bill Snyder, one of the greatest coaches of all time, and I think a handful of others, it's not good to miss bowl games in your first 2 years. And it's certainly not good to miss bowl games in your first 2 years in an era of 80 bowl games. Like if you can't make a bowl game in your first 2 years, and if you can't make a bowl game when you have a chance to lock up a bowl bid over the course of 10 games, like you're right. Can we say definitively it's not going to work? No. Would I feel comfortable in saying it's not going to work and we're probably playing out the string? Yes. Just because it's so hard to crawl out of that. It really is. He's already lost a lot of the fan base. He'd lose even more.
The vibes would get so there would be no wiggle room before the vibes get toxic.
Yeah.
Right.
Which they already are, right?
Right. And then the season would start, but if it did, you would have no wiggle room, right?
No.
You would have to come out just freaking gangbusters, and you would not have the kind of the space that you would have in year 1 or year 2 if you get in that situation. So yes, he's desperate. Yes, it's a good idea. It's probably a good idea if he's got something he thinks he can do right now, even if it's a major change to increase their chances of winning. He should do it because it's better. It's in his best interest. It's in the team's best interest, and it's in all of our well-being's